I'm Dr. Mark Andrew Holacek, and wasn't planning on doing a short video today, but I feel compelled to do so. Uh, Title of this brief chat will be, pardon my French, but Trump is fucking insane. I wake up every day and find something new, discover something new about what he plans to do with Ukraine, and I'm beyond. It's beyond being baffled. It's beyond bafflement. It's just insanity. Zelensky learned of the telephone conversation of an hour and a half between Trump and Putin, and was astonished. He was blown over because he never knew about it. Now they're planning on meeting in neutral territory, Trump and Putin, without Ukraine expressly being invited, which is, according to Zelensky and me, insanity. How can, when two countries are at war, how can a third country come in and sort of quote unquote mediate without both warring nations being present? Makes sense, right? Not according to Trump. Uh, that scares me because there's something going on. There's something said in that telephone conversation where they want to carve up Ukraine. Go back to 1667 and 1686, right? We had peace agreements, the eternal peace, the last one called eternal peace, right? Didn't last that long, but we had peace agreements between Poland, Lithuania, and Russia. And what happened is they carved up the Hetmanate, the area occupied by Ukraine between Poland, Lithuania, and Russia. They decided the best way to deal with the meddlesome Cossacks is just to meet independently of them and decide to go to war against them and just presumably obliterate the Ukrainians and then take their land, right? Something like this seems to me is going on here. Um, that's what scares me about the situation. It is, I don't trust Trump. He's treating this war as a business transaction. Anything that goes wrong with anything, of course, he blames Biden. Well, it's Biden. Inflation's up. Well, it's Biden's inflation, right? It's not Biden's, it's yours, pal. By the way, raising tariffs and uh, the things that he's proposing to do with the economy, of course, is going to make for higher prices. I'll leave it at that. Uh, Treating war as a business transaction is itself a highly immoral activity, right? It shows you the brainlessness of Donald Trump. I want my money back, he tells Zelensky. Not only he comes up with these rare mineral deal, which I thought at first was pretty bright, and it is if you do it the right way. If you propose, well, I'm sorry for all the hundreds of thousands of men and women and children that were lost in this insane war. Uh, we'd like the help, but can you help us back? That would be great. We can have a partnership here. We'll continue support for you in your effort and help you win the war if you help us a little bit. Okay, we'll make it a bit of a business but for him, it's completely a business transaction, right? When Vance spoke in Germany not a few days ago, right, and he embarrassed himself like a complete fucking asshole by attacking everybody, right? Make sure you're friendly with your enemy and you treat your friends like dirt. It's exactly what he did. It scares me. I mean, I'm embarrassed to have him, Donald Duck, as president. And I'm going to iterate this and reiterate it. He needs to get out of office quickly before he destroys everything and this leads to World War III. That's very likely if things don't change. We don't get him out of office. Republicans need to act, right? He's not representing Republican interests. He's representing Donald Duck's interests. I want my money back from Ukraine. Now, there's a leak, according to the Telegraph. It says he has a new scenario for Ukraine. It was leaked out today. It says, I read, Trump's demands would amount to a higher share of Ukrainian GDP than reparations imposed on Germany at the Versailles Treaty, later whittled down at the London Conference in 1921 by the Dawes Plan in 1924. In effect, he's proposing to assist Ukraine. It's like a business transaction. Yeah, we'll come and assist you and give you what you need. Of course, we're not going to impose uh, any rules against Russia. Russia's going to get exactly what they want. They're going to get their land, slap on the wrist. We're going to say, nanny, nanny, poo, poo. You invaded another country. You took some land. You can keep your land, but that's it. That's it. So they're going to get a slight slap on the wrist. And what Trump is proposing to do is take over Ukraine. He has made a proposition, according to the Telegraph, that he wants a large share of the Ukrainian GDP for assistance. In effect, it's sort of like a business transaction. Yeah, your company is bankrupt. What I'll do is I'll help you if you allow me to buy 51% of the stocks. In other words, I become the country. Ukraine is in a freaking panic over this, right? Zelensky already told Trump to get screwed when Trump, prior to meeting Vance, might have mentioned this already when they're meeting in Germany. Prior to meeting Vance, they handed him a slip of paper that said, sign over $500 billion worth of rare earth to us. Zelensky, to his credit, refused to sign that piece of paper, right? He realizes that the United States has gone insane. This latest project, he's going to meet with Putin, right? Who knows what they're going to talk about? He's probably going to say, yeah, you take over, you keep the four oblasts that you have, and you've got Crimea. We'll take over the rest of Ukraine. And yet, it's going to be mutually beneficial to both of us. It's unfucking believable. We have according to Trumpy Boy, according to Donald Duck, we have a new plutocratic world order. China, Russia in between, right? Russia in between China and the United States and the United States. Whereas Europe and all this, they're sort of left out of the picture. These are our allies, our friends, and we're fucking them over. Parting my F word here, I'm going to use the F bomb quite a bit because that's what needs to be done. Then you get the great minions, the toadies, the lickspittles, Vance and Hedgehog, right? I love, in their speeches, oh, this is the president's policy, and I love the fact that both say, and I agree with him, as if some punk nobody agreeing adds weight to the whole proposition. Oh my goodness, Hedgehog agrees with Trump. I agree with him. I agree with Trump now because of Hedgehog. Such a deeply respected political figure. Do not these morons realize that they were made part of the cabinet because they're perfectly ass kissing? They're perfect ass kissers. They're going to do exactly what. There was a leak that someone who was part of Trump's prior cabinet said, boy, I wish I had some generals just like Hitler had. In other words, I want to surround myself with people that'll just do what I tell them and not question what I think and say. The gospel of Donald fucking Trump. I agree with the president. Another thing I'll mention, and I'm going to stop my own rant here, and I need to rant. It's just we're living in an insane world. I can't believe what my country is doing. I'm embarrassed to have him as my president. I'm still my country. We need to claim it. He needs to be thrown out of office. People, wake up. Republicans, wake up. Throw this fucking asshole out of office. That's what needs to be done. Last thing I'll mention is that Trump, I think he was walking to an airplane or from an airplane. He mentioned something. Well, you know what the Saudis need to do? We can stop Putin real quickly if we flood the market. Saudis need to knock down the price of oil, drop down the price of oil, right? So it's easily, so Putin can't make a profit on selling his oil. And he goes, I'm going to flood the market too. So what the Saudis have done, and this hasn't gotten much recognition at all. I don't know why. The Saudis said, screw you. What we're going to do is we're not going to pump much at all. You can take your U.S. oil and flood the market with that if you want. We're not going to pump at all right now. We're just going to hold our reserves and let the U.S. oil get on the market. The price of oil is not going to change much, if at all. And People don't like being told. Intelligent people, other nations, dignitaries from other nations, don't like these young punks from the United States come in and tell them what they need to do, right? Because Donald Duck says so. This guy is a Constitution disabiding, if there's such a word, motherfucker. Doesn't care about the U.S. Constitution. I'm going to go in and do things my way, make America rich again. Right? This is going to backfire in America's face. Zelensky and the European nations of NATO, the United States will probably withdraw from NATO. I hope they just get thrown out. Um, are going to meet and come up with a plan of their own for Ukraine and Zelensky. And of course, Russia and the United States might not recognize that. But I'm thinking at the time, people in the United States Congress will sober up and realize we have an insane fucking moron running the country, running us down, right? Insulting our friends, making friends with enemies. Putin is a killer. He's a rapist. He's a murderer, child abductor. I mean, I did a psychological profile, as I said, you wouldn't believe, and I'll talk of this at some later occasion when I'm quieter. You wouldn't believe some of the atrocities this man has committed, right? And he enjoys them. He enjoys seeing other people squirm. And as I've said on numerous occasions already, the time for this joint agreement, a time for this new plutocratic world order, China, US, and Russia, couldn't be worse because Russia is a second-rate player. They've shown they have no military to scare anybody. Their nukes are not upkept in of questionable value in the event that they want to threaten us with nuclear war. Sure, they'll probably have nukes that can hit certain cities. England itself could send their nukes from their subs, and it was said in 55 minutes, Moscow will be obliterated. And Putin knows that. So the nuke stuff is principally a bluff, right? He's not going to do that. He's more interested in what the history books will tell him. So here's the issue here, people. Americans, sober up. Realize you've got a dictator, an autocrat, right? A plutocrat, someone who is making treaties and alliances with a cutthroat killer. Throw this motherfucker out of office. That's all I really want to say today. I don't need to say more. It's just, it unbelievably astonishes me that, American people think this guy is flawless. He's perfect. He can't make a mistake. Whatever Trump says is gospel. And if he changes his mind on one thing, then we'll change our mind too. Because he's Donald Trump, he can't make a mistake. Get this motherfucker out of office and let's do it fast before we wind up in World War III. Ta-ta for now, TTFN, and I'll talk to you when I'm a little calmer on a different occasion.